Okay, welcome my friends. Hello, Jason Gorenstein here. Just about 10 minutes past usual start time. A little off to a delayed start, and I hope that you're having a very lovely morning today. This I'm bringing you is Hatha Yoga Level 1. And Hatha Yoga Level 1 is a class that's made or intended rather for beginner level students, and it will run roughly until 6:55. So I hope you're having a wonderful morning today, and hopefully you can join us for this practice of yoga. Once again, this is a beginner's practice, so just begin to find your way back onto your mat. We're going to start in Shavasana pose. So as you feel ready, lying down on your mat, arms extended, palms face the ceiling, legs are releasing out to the sides, and allow your breath to become long and slow. So as you begin to find your way into your practice, just start to notice your body and your breath. So we start in a pose called Shavasana. Now, if you have knee issues, what you want to do is keep the knees bent here. Otherwise, you can extend your legs fully forward here and release the palms out to the side. This is called Shavasana pose. And as you take Shavasana pose, you're just beginning to become aware of the entire body as a whole. And your breath here is a very important component of the practice. So you can roll the shoulders under, you can lift the top of the chest up, and then just walk the feet to center here. Flex your feet and breathe. So the toes are facing the ceiling. The inner feet are reaching towards the bottom of the mat. The tailbone is lengthening as well, all the way towards the heels. And even here, as the chest lifts up, you could still feel the frontal ribs slightly softening towards the navel. So the navel is moving back towards the mat, and the breath is continuing long and slow here. And as you flex those feet, inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, palms face one another. And as you hug the belly in, begin to take the arms back behind you any amount. So the arms are extended, the feet are flexed. The thighs are pressing down towards the mat, and the buttocks is again lengthening towards those heels. As you breathe here, the belly hugs in, and continue to feel this elongation from the side ribs all the way out through the fingers. As you exhale, take the arms back to the sides and release the palms down, open, and away from the body. So as we take this pose, you'll notice many of the components of this pose. The shoulders are rolling in under the chest. Collarbones are spread wide apart. The crown of the head is lengthening all the way from the pubis. And the belly is hugging in here as the frontal ribs soften towards the navel. One more time, inhale, float the arms to face one another. And begin to extend the arms up over the head. So both arms are in external rotation here. You continue to lengthen from the side body all the way to the pinky fingers. The pinky side of the hand is wrapping in towards one another as the thumb side of the hand is turning away. Allow that belly to be soft. Allow the breath to travel from the pubis all the way through the crown of the head. And as you exhale here, release the arms back down into the sides. You're going to take the knees, bring the knees to a bent position. The feet are in line with the knees. The knees are in line, rather, underneath the pelvis. And as you press down through the tops of the feet, inhale, begin to peel the pelvis on up. So the belly hugs in, the tailbone lengthens to the backs of the knees, and you press down through the tops of the feet. As you exhale here, release the tailbone all the way down towards the mat. Good. So press down through the tops of the feet. Inhale, float the pelvis on up. So the thighs are engaged here. You can feel the outer thighs wrapping towards the inner thighs. The calves are moving towards the shins as you press through the tops of the feet. The belly is hugging in. As you exhale, lower the entire tailbone all the way down to the mat. One more time. Press down through the tops of the feet. Calves move to shins, thighs move to hamstrings, and breathe here as the belly hugs in. Allow those shoulder blades to move into the center chest. Now take your arms, let the palms face one another, floating the arms up towards the ceiling, and then float the arms back behind you any amount here. Now as you exhale, lower the pelvis down, take the right knee, hug the right knee into the chest, and draw both elbows down to the mat. This is called Ekapada Apanasana. So if you'd like, you can extend the left leg forward. Now, some of us will float the left foot off the floor. Others of us will release the left leg down on the floor. All of us will keep the left leg flexed here. And then as you exhale, left knee hugs into the chest, and the right leg extends forward to the front of the mat. So as you draw the left knee into the chest, let the left outer hip move away from you. Let both shoulder blades draw in towards the center chest as the outer elbows release down to the mat. The right foot is flexed here and you're breathing. Right knee hugs into the chest. Again, the left leg floats to the front of the room. Good. So left leg is floating up off the floor. This time, can you lift the chest, head, and sternum up just to look at the belly button? And then exhale, lower that head down, and we're going to do the same to the other side. So we do this in order to bring a little bit of awareness into the belly. So you draw in, you lift up, and you flex through that right foot. Good. And then you exhale, you release on down as you hug both knees into the center chest. So both knees hug into the center chest. You have one of two options. You could roll onto your side and press your way up. You could rock forwards and backwards here as you come into an upright seated position. Now, sit up on your mat, come into a cross-legged position here, and find your way into the center of your mat. So see that the chest is lengthening here. Feel both inner thighs releasing down to the mat. Close the eyes. Take the hands to the center chest here. And if you'd like, you could join me with an Om. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, releasing the chin to the chest. Taking the palms now, placing the palms on your mat. Spread across the fingers here. See that the palms are directly in front of the shoulders. See that the knees are under the hips. Spread across the fingers here. Lengthen through the side ribs. And begin to inhale, peel the chest on up. As you exhale, pressing through the tops of the fingers, releasing the head down towards the mat as you spread across the tops of the shoulders. Inhaling here, peeling the chest on up, lengthening through the side ribs. As you exhale, hugging in the tailbone, allowing the belly to draw in towards the back waist as you lengthen through the middle spine. Inhale, peeling the chest forward and up here. So the inner thighs continue to press back towards the back of the mat. The side ribs continue to lengthen forward. As you exhale, once again, rounding through the spine and releasing that head down towards the mat. Inhale one more time, lengthening that chest on forward. Good. As you exhale, you're going to extend the right foot back to the back of the mat. Press down through the right ball of the foot and lengthen through the right entire leg. So spread across the fingers here. Continue to see that the head is releasing down towards the mat as you press through the tops of the fingers. As you exhale, lower the right knee down. Inhale, drawing the left leg on back. So spread across the fingers here. Continue to engage the pubis all the way through the crown of the head. Wrap the outer arms in and breathe here. And as you exhale, lower the left knee down to the mat. Good. Once again, taking that right leg on back, pressing through the right heel, floating the right inner leg up so the right inner thigh is engaged. Right outer hip is pinning in. And then as you exhale, take the left foot to meet the right. So we're in plank pose. From plank pose, feel the thighs drawing back towards the back of the mat. Continue to release the head down towards the floor here as you walk the left foot out to the left and the right foot out to the right, finding your way into Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog pose. And because this is our first downward facing dog pose, you can bend the knees slightly here. See that the fingers are spreading wide apart. See that the head is releasing down to the mat and breathing into those side ribs. As you feel ready, pressing through those heels, taking the chest forward of the thighs, lower the knees down to the mat. Begin to take the chest forward even more as you lower the chest all the way down towards the mat. Walk the hands back. Inhale, peel up the chest here and come into Cobra's pose. As you exhale, tuck the toes underneath, press down through the hands, float the thighs back, downward facing dog pose. And once again in downward facing dog pose, see that the head is releasing down towards the mat. See that the heels are moving away from one another as you continue to lengthen those side ribs towards the hip bones. From here, begin to walk the feet forward towards the hands and find your way into a half forward fold. So inhale, peeling the chest on up and lengthening here. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, fold all the way down towards the feet. Now press through the four corners of the feet, spread across those toes. Inhale, begin to peel the chest on up, and then float the arms up towards the ceiling for Urdhva Hastasana pose. As you exhale, arms come out to the sides and find your way back into Tadasana pose. So as we come into Tadasana pose, you can either keep the feet parallel, you can either keep the feet in line with the pelvis, or you can walk the feet a little bit wider apart so the feet are in line with the knees. Inhale, float the arms up and above the head. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold here. As you inhale, lengthen through the chest, heart, and sternum. And again, exhale, release the head on down. Press through the feet. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana pose. And as you exhale, take the arms back, down, and out to the sides. Good. Inhale again, floating those arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hinging at the hips and folding all the way forward. Inhale, peeling up the chest halfway. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms. And as you exhale, taking those palms down and out to the sides. Good. So from here, interlace the fingers, press your palms forward in front of you, lengthen the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. So see that the toes are spread wide apart here. See that the calves move towards the shins, see that the thighs move towards the hamstrings. Begin to feel the shoulder blades moving into the center chest as you draw the frontal ribs towards the frontal hip bones. Hug the belly in. Wrap the outer arms in. As you exhale, begin to glide the hands over to the right side of the room. Press down through the feet. Take the inner thighs back. Allow the pubis to draw in towards the crown of the head as you hug the belly in. Inhale back to center here. Exhale, release the hands down through the center chest. Reinterlace the fingers here just so that we have a little bit of adjustment. And then press your palms forward in front of you. As you spread across the toes, firm the outer thighs in. Feel the navel hugging in all the way towards the crown of the head. And then begin to float the arms up towards the ceiling. As you float the arms up towards the ceiling, wrap the outer arms in and continue to breathe as you spread across the collarbones. Now, press through the feet. Feel the thighs engaged and begin to lengthen the torso all the way over to the left side of the room. Breathe into the right side body here as you lengthen through those fingers. Once again, inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, release the arms down and out to the sides, palms extending towards the mat. Inhale, floating the arms up for Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, forward fold into Uttanasana pose. Inhale, lengthening halfway. As we exhale here, you're going to walk the feet back and find your way into downward facing dog pose. As you take downward facing dog pose here, release the head down towards the mat. See that the fingers are lengthening towards the front of the mat. See that the heels are lengthening towards the back of the mat. Feel the legs engaged as the triceps wrap on in, and allow the belly to draw in as the chest draws towards those frontal ribs. Good. Release the knees down to the mat. See that the fingers are spread wide apart. Inhale, float the right leg on up. So as you float the right leg on up, lift through the right inner hip crease. Or the right inner thigh crease, rather. See that the fingers are spread. Wrap the outer triceps in. Hug the belly in here. Good. As you exhale, draw the right knee in towards the chest and round the spine. Inhale, floating that right leg up. So as you float the right leg up, lift through the right inner thigh crease. Allow the right outer hip to pin on in. Allow the left hip to pin on in. As you exhale, draw the right knee into the chest, rounding the spine here. Inhale one more time, lengthening that right leg on back. Good. As you exhale, extend through your left arm. So once you extend through the left arm, spin the pinky side of the hand down towards the mat. Engage your core muscles. Allow the navel to draw in towards the side, in towards the spine as you lengthen from the heel of your right foot all the way to the pinky finger of your left palm. As you exhale, lower that left hand down, lower that right knee down. So we're going to find our way back into downward facing dog pose and release the head on down to the mat. Good. Once again, walking the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening here. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana arms. As you exhale, taking the arms back to the sides of the body and releasing into Tadasana. So notice the right side of the body was lengthened, the left arm was lengthened, and feel the difference in Tadasana between those two parts of the body. So in yoga, we notice these distinguishing factors. We notice our awareness of the body. So it's important because even though it's an aerobic exercise, we're still noticing what the difference is in our body through doing one side versus doing the other. As you inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling, float the palms up. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Inhale, lengthening through the chest here. Now plant the hands down on the mat, walk the feet back, downward facing dog pose again. Downward facing dog pose here, release both knees down to the mat. And see that once again the belly is hugging in towards the spine. Spread across the fingers. Engage the outer arms in here. Breathe. Now take the left leg back. Float the left leg back behind you and engage your core muscles. So notice that the weight shifts to the right arm and the right outer hip. Pin the right outer hip in. Spin the left outer thigh in and engage your core here. As you exhale, round the spine just like we did earlier. And bring the left knee in towards the chest. As you inhale, extend back through the left leg in flexion and begin to feel the frontal hip points drawing towards the frontal ribs. As you exhale, rounding the spine here and releasing the frontal ribs all the way towards the hip bones. Inhale, extending that left leg on back one more time. This time, as you press through that left heel, begin to float the right arm up. So the weight travels into the pinky side of the left hand and the right inner shin. As you continue to breathe here, engage your belly. As you exhale, release the right palm down. Release the left knee down. And once again, find your way into downward facing dog pose. Some students can rest in child's pose here if you'd like. Release the head down. See that the knees are hips width distance apart. And breathe here. So child's pose or downward facing dog. Now if you took child's pose, find your way into downward facing dog pose. Pressing on up. Lengthening through those heels. And once again, begin to walk the feet forward towards the hands. As you inhale, lengthen the chest up halfway. As you exhale, hinging at the hips and folding. Inhale, floating those arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms as you exhale, releasing the palms down to your sides. Good. So now, you're going to see that you have a strap. So grab hold of a strap. If you don't have a strap, you could grab a belt from a belt buckle. You could just grab like a belt that you would wear. And you're going to place this belt. You're going to take this belt and you're going to take this belt over the body and you're going to pull the arms away from one another. So as you stand in Tadasana, and remember, Tadasana can either be stood in, either feet underneath the pelvis or feet hips width distance apart. As you stand in Tadasana, begin to pull the strap in the opposite direction. So if you have a belt, maybe you have a belt like a belt that you wear, and you just hold that over your head, and you feel the shoulders spreading across the back body here. Now, hug the belly in and continue to feel the frontal ribs connecting with the frontal hip points. Walk the hands a little bit wider on that strap and take your hands into almost like a wide V shape here. Now begin to draw the hands back behind you, any amount. That's it. You can walk your hands a little bit wider apart and continue to engage the navel here. So what we're doing here is we're spreading across those collarbones. You guys should feel this. You press through the feet, you lengthen through those side ribs, and you feel the collarbones spreading out to the tips of the fingers. As you inhale here, float those arms up and release the hands down. Good. We're going to do it one more time, except this time we're going to bring our hands behind our back and bring our hands a little bit closer together. So the hands are almost in line with the shoulders here. Palms are behind the back. holding onto the strap. Now feel free, especially if you're a beginner, to take a little bit wider of a stance. You could keep the feet together, or you could take the feet about hips width distance apart. Both of these options are good. As you feel ready, leaning forward, hinging at those hips. You have your strap. Take your strap over the head and turn the thumbs down towards the mat as you draw the pinky side of the finger up towards the ceiling. So what that does is it wraps your outer upper arms in. So you can feel the triceps turning in towards each other. You can feel the biceps drawing away. And you could feel this spreading along the top of the chest. As you inhale here, lift the chest, heart, and sternum. Find your way on up. And as you exhale, just release the strap off to the side. Good. Now, take the hands to the hips. Step your feet wide apart. And see that your feet are parallel. So from here, we're going to turn both of our feet in towards the right side of the room. Spin the left heel in through the ball of the foot. Turn the right leg out 90 degrees. See that the right heel is in line with the left arch of the foot. Press through the right ball of the foot. Continue to engage the pubis here and lengthen the right side of your chest forward. Now take your right hand, glide it down the leg. Take your left hand to the left hip. From here, inhale. Float the left arm up towards the ceiling and wrap the right tricep in. As you wrap the right tricep in, feel the right ball of the foot pressing down. See that the right outer hip is hugging in here as you breathe. Continue to breathe here, pressing into the left ball of the foot, and see if you could get any more length on the right side of the body. So even here, which is very interesting, let's take the left hand and place it on the left hip, just so we have less to focus on. The right chest needs to move towards the right armpit. So even though the left chest is long, the right chest also needs to be long. So we use our right palm in order to wrap our right tricep back, which takes our right chest forward. Inhale, refloat the left arm up towards the ceiling. As you press through those feet, begin to inhale, engage your core muscles, and lift the chest up. Take your hands to your hips and turn your feet in. So the feet always come back to parallel, and then the feet always turn to the opposite side. And the reason we do this is because it creates balance in the pose. So as you feel ready, pressing through the left outer foot, drawing the left hip back, gliding the right hip forward. Glide your left hand down that leg. Right hand is on the hip here. Good. So as you continue to breathe here, start by lengthening the right arm up towards the ceiling. This is called triangle pose. So triangle pose, right outer foot presses back, right pinky toe side of the foot presses back, right thigh draws to the back of the mat, left ball of the foot presses down, left outer hip draws back. Take your right hand, place it on your right hip. From here, what we lose in this pose is the left chest. So what we're trying to do is as you press or wrap the left outer arm in, you're trying to allow the left side of the chest to lengthen forward from the left hip as well. Spin the chest up towards the ceiling. And then from here, inhale, re-extend the right arm back up. So there's length all the way across the left shoulder, all the way up through the right fingers here. You're breathing here. Keep pressing to the right outer foot. Keep seeing that the weight is even in the feet. There's not more weight in the left foot or in the right foot. Inhale, float that right arm up. Let the hands come back to the hips. Turn the feet in and step the feet back together. Tadasana pose. So we come back to Tadasana pose as a measure. Tadasana pose is like the in-between poses of all the poses. So Tadasana allows for us to be aware of our body. It allows for us to be aware of our breath. Take your hands to your hips here. Bend into that left knee and spin your left foot out so that your left leg is in what we call external rotation. From the hip socket, the leg is turned outward. Then from here, the hands are on the hips. Now, you should notice that the hips are fairly even here. You may need to press down through the right ball of the foot. You may need to engage the left outer thigh in, and then breathe here as you come up and lift the chest. As you exhale, release the left foot on down, bend the right knee this time, and then spin the right heel out. So we start here, typically, And this allows for us to create a lift. So the right hip hikes up, the left buttocks draws down, and you breathe. And as you breathe here, keep lengthening the buttocks all the way towards the heels. Keep drawing the navel in towards the crown of the head. And breathing here. Feel the weight shifting from the left hip to the right. Good, and as you exhale, release that foot on down. Come back to Tadasana pose, mountain pose. Take the hands to the hips once again. Step the feet wide apart. And then turn both feet over to face the right side of the room. Press to the right ball of the foot. Draw the right hip back. Press to the left outer foot. Draw the left hip forward. Once again, glide your right hand down the leg any amount. Inhale, float the left arm up towards the ceiling. So we take Trikonasana one more time in order for us to maintain length in the body. Add a light bend to that left knee, or to the right knee rather. See that the right calf is moving in towards the right shin. Allow the left outer hip to revolve down towards the mat. So we don't want too much pressure to be on that left outer hip, so we draw it down slightly towards the mat. Press to the left outer foot. The left pinky toe side of the foot presses down. Now spread across the chest and feel the arms reaching in opposite directions here. Now keep hugging the belly in so much that if you wanted to, you could lift the right hand off of the right foot and bring it to the center chest here and still not lose any length in the pose. Inhale, lift that left arm up. Very good, guys. Hands come to the hips. Turn both feet in. Turn both feet to the other side. So again here, we start with our feet. Feet are the foundation. Press into the feet. See that the thighs are hugging in. See that the hips are rotating forward. And then from here, as you feel ready, you're going to glide your left hand down that left leg. Right hand's on the right hip crease. Good. Press to the left ball of the foot. Draw the left hip back. That's it. Press to the right outer foot. Draw the right hip forward. Now, open up the chest here. So bring the right hand to the right hip. Open up the chest. And inhale, raise the right arm up towards the ceiling. Press to the right outer foot. Lengthen the left side of the chest all the way to the left armpit. Feel both shoulders drawing back towards the back of the mat. Feel the center chest lifting all the way up. From here, continue to breathe as you wrap the outer legs in. So keep floating up through that right arm. And notice here that even as we come forward with that chest, we're still in the legs. You don't ever lose the contact with the legs. So when you hug the belly in here, you become very strong in those legs. And then you keep lifting through that right arm, so much so that you could lift up your left arm and you don't lose any length in the left or the right side of the body. Inhale, floating the chest on up. Take the hands to the hips and walk the feet back together. Let the arms come out to the sides. The next pose that we're taking is called Vrikshasana or tree pose. So what you may want to do is find your way to a wall, especially if your balance is off. And you know what? Especially even from the beginning, it's best to find your way to a wall. So take your left hand, place your left hand at a wall. You're going to bend the right knee to 90 degrees and spin the right heel in. You could pause here and just bring the right hand to the center chest and be here the entire pose. Or, if you'd like, you could hinge on forward and you could grab hold of the right shin. Now, place the right calf, or place the right foot either on the left shin rather, or on the left thigh crease. So not on the left knee, because you don't want to put too much pressure on that joint. You want to keep the pressure on the muscles of the leg. And as you do that, you'll notice that the left hip starts to jut out to the left. Can you draw the left hip back in? Good. Bring the right hand to the center chest here. Now inhale, walk your left fingers up the wall, walk your left fingers up the wall, and turn your left palm in. Take the right arm and extend the right arm up towards the ceiling as well. So even if your right foot is on the ground, like we started with here, you could be here. Good, very nice. Now hug the left outer buttocks in. Continue to breathe as you draw the navel in. The frontal hips draw to the frontal ribs and lengthen through the back spine all the way towards the fingers. And breathe here. Good. As we exhale, we're going to take our right hand down to the center chest. We're going to walk our left fingers down the wall. And then take our right foot, place it down on the mat, and come back to Tadasana. So we always come back to Tadasana to investigate our pose. Even in Vinyasa class, we always come back to Tadasana. It's like the foundational pose. So you'll notice here that even in this pose, we take the elements of Vrikshasana. So we feel the outer hips hugging in, we feel the side ribs lengthening. Feel the trapezius muscles moving away from the ears, all the way down towards the back of the pelvis. Now, come to the other side. See that the right hand is in line with the right shoulder. Bend that left knee. Spin the left heel in. Bring the left leg to a bent position. You can either bring the foot over towards the right shin, or you can bring the foot all the way up towards the right thigh. Be here. Notice that the right hip is moving in towards the wall. That's fine, but we want to draw the right hip in towards the center of the room. So you want to feel that weight is even in the right ball of the foot here, the right heel. And then take your left hand to the center chest. You could stay here. You could begin to walk your right fingers up the wall. This is why we benefit from using a wall here. Now see that your right outer hip hugs in. See that your chest is lifting up. And then float the left arm all the way up. Wrap the outer armpits in and breathe here. Let the head come back slightly. Allow the side ribs to lengthen all the way to the tops of the fingers. Continue to breathe here. Good. And as you continue to breathe here, lengthen through the chest. Pubis is hugging in towards the crown of the head. And once again here, this left hand comes into the center chest. Right hand walks down the wall. And release the left foot all the way from the right leg. Come back to Tadasana one more time. And lift the chest on up. So Vrikshasana pose can also be practiced in the center of the room. So you could either find your way back to the wall, or if you want to join me, you could join me in the center of the room. Hands come to the hips. We're going to start with bending that left knee and spinning that left heel in. So you could remain here the entire time. This is perfectly suitable for Vrikshasana. This is taking on the components. You have the right foot, you have the left leg in external rotation, both buttocks are lengthening towards the heels, both side ribs are lengthening all the way up towards the ceiling. The other option is to bend that knee. Now, you could glide that leg up, either to the left foot to the right shin, or lean on forward. Take hold of that foot and bring it all the way up towards the right thigh crease. So as you press the leg into the thigh crease, feel the right entire leg engage. If your balance is way off here, place your right hand against the wall. So just find your way back to the wall. If not, bring your hands to the center chest. Now see that you're spreading across the toes. See that your buttocks is lengthening towards the heels. Engage your thighs here. Even the left thigh is engaged. The left thigh is drawing in towards the left heel. The right thigh is drawing in towards the right buttocks. And then from here, arms come out to the side in a V shape like we did earlier when we were holding that strap, and pull both sides of the strap away from one another. So we're spreading across the collarbones here. That pose that we just took. Keep drawing the belly in. Keep feeling the frontal hip points lifting towards those frontal ribs. As you exhale here, bring the hands back into the center chest and release that left leg on down. Hands come to the hips again. Bend through the right knee here. Spin that right heel out. So now we begin to bend this right knee. And then you could stay here the entire time. Hands are at the center chest. You're still getting the benefit of the pose. Your left leg is strong, your right leg is in external rotation, your buttocks is lengthening towards the heels. You guys are still getting the benefit, even just staying here. So don't think that you have to progress to the next state yet, or you could reach out to me and take a picture of your pose or take a video of your pose, and then that way I could look and see you're ready for the next part of the posture. If you feel ready, you lean on forward. You take hold of your right shin. You could either place your right foot into your left shin crease, or you could place your right foot into your left thigh crease, and then bring the hands to the hips. So already here, we already have the components of tree pose. You'll notice that the left buttocks is hugging in. You'll notice that both Feet are pressing down. The right foot is pressing in towards the left thigh. The left foot is pressing down to the mat, and the hands come to the center chest. Buttocks is lengthening towards those heels. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. So eventually we come here into our tree pose, and you wrap the outer arms in and inhale, lift those arms up above the head. So the belly hugs in here. Feel the frontal hip points lifting towards the frontal ribs. Feel the frontal ribs drawing towards the frontal hip points. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen. Side ribs all the way up towards the fingers. And as you exhale here, bring those hands back into the center chest. Bring that right foot in. And release that right thigh on down. So we take Tadasana one more time here. Lift through both sides of the chest. So start with the feet first of all. Spread across the toes. Feel the inner and outer foot pressing down. Calves moving forward, thighs moving back. Buttocks lengthening down, belly drawing in. The sides, they lengthen from the tops of the shoulders. One more time, inhale, float the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana arms. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. As you inhale, lengthen through the chest, heart, and sternum. Walk the feet back, find your way into downward facing dog pose again. So downward facing dog pose. Spread across the fingers, spread across the toes. See that the heels are drawing back. See that the forearms are lengthening forward. Feel the thighs drawing back. Feel the outer arms hugging in. And breathe here. Lower your knees down onto the mat. And find your way back into child's pose. Knees are wide. Feet are together. Release that head on down. Good. Now come forward. You're going to come onto your forearms, and you're going to walk your knees back until you come into what we call Sphinx pose. So you're going to lower the pelvis on down and lift that chest on up. Fingers are interlaced here. Press down through the forearm, wrist, and the fingers. See that your belly is engaged. Look down in between your hands. So we look down to engage our core muscles here, and we press our forearms forward to the front of the mat in order to engage our outer latissimus dorsi muscles, so those muscles that line along the back body here. Keep drawing the shoulder blades back down the spine. Keep feeling your trapezius muscles, which are at the top of the shoulders, to release down the back. Good. And as you feel ready here, tuck the toes underneath. Press the knees down. Walk the knees in, walk the knees in, walk the knees in. And then you're going to take the right foot back. You're going to take the left leg back, and you're going to come into a forearm plank. So we hold here just to build a little bit more strength and stability in the arms. You don't even have to bring the fingers to touch. Maybe the fingers come into a prayer position. Maybe the fingers turn up towards the ceiling here. Maybe the fingers are interlaced. So all of these variations is nice as we take this pose. As you exhale, lower those knees down to the mat. And as you feel ready, come back into not downward facing dog. Come back into child's pose one more time. Release the head down towards the mat and breathe here. In child's pose, lift the chest up. Take the legs forward. Find your way onto your back. And release on down. Hug your knees into the chest here. Good. As you hug the knees into the chest, release the head down, release the shoulders down, and breathe. Take the right knee into the chest. Let the left foot tap down to the mat. Take your hands this time. Bring them behind your head and lift your head up towards your bent right knee. So you're just lifting up the chest, you're lifting up the heart, lifting up the sternum. As you exhale, lower that leg down, lower the head on down. Take the left knee to a bent position. So again, press through the right toes, feel the right outer hip engaged, feel the left hip moving away from you as you draw the left knee in, and then just lift the chest here. So just a nice little abdominal contraction pose. Good. Exhale. Lower the head down, lower the foot on down. Take the hands, bring the hands along the sides of the body. Again, wrap the left shoulder under, wrap the right shoulder under. So the arms, the upper arms wrap underneath you. And as you press down through the feet, just like we started with today, feel the thighs engaged here. Feel the buttocks lifting up as the belly hugs in, just like Tadasana pose. Feel the shoulder blades moving down the spine as the sternum moves towards the chin. Allow yourself to feel into those outer arms now as you wrap the outer arms in towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower that pelvis down and release all the way down towards the mat. We're going to do that one more time. This time, if you have a block, just place a block in between the legs. The reason we use a block here is because our quads. It helps us to engage our outer hips, our outer hip flexors. So as you feel ready, squeeze the block together. Squeeze the block in between the legs. Now press down through the feet. Feel the calves moving forward. Feel the thighs moving down. Feel the squeezing in of the outer legs to the inner legs here. And the belly hugs in. You'll notice here that it's easier for the frontal hip points to lift. That's it. Wrap those outer arms in and breathe here. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. Good. Now take your legs, bring your knees into the chest. You don't need to hug them in, just bring them towards the chest. Let the arms come out to the sides and let both knees drift over towards the left elbow. If you want more here, just keep the knees floating off the ground. Some of us want a little bit more. Just keep the knees floating off the ground. Flex the feet and breathe. Come back to center and draw the knees to the opposite side. Knees are floating off the ground. Hug your knees into the chest one more time. Just feel those shoulders releasing down towards the mat. Through the left side and back to center. If you want, you can take your hands behind the legs and flex the feet here. Flexing both feet as you breathe. Legs are facing, or toes are facing the ceiling. As you exhale here, release the feet down to the mat. Walk the legs on back, walk the head back just so that the head is at the back of the mat or the top of the mat. Bring your hands behind the buttocks flesh and lengthen your legs forward to the front of your mat. We do that in order for the buttocks to move away from the low back. Then from here, take your arms out to the sides and see that your palms are facing the ceiling. Allow the shoulders to draw under the chest. Allow the feet to spread wide apart. Release the head. Close the eyes. And breathe. Walk the left shoulder under, walk the right shoulder under. Release the feet to either side. Let the lips relax. Let the face muscles relax. Good. As you feel ready, bring the knees to a bent position. Roll the body weight over all the way to the left side. And then as you press down through the fingers, inhale, lift the chest on up. And find your way into a seated position. So as you find your way into a seated position, we come back into Sukhasana, pose that we started with. Sitting on our mat. And then we take our hands to the center chest. Taking a deep breath in. Releasing the chin towards the chest. Lifting the head. Taking the palms to the thighs, palms face up. Opening the eyes. Namaste, yogis. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. We still have a few more practices today. So my name is Jason Gorenstein. This is our Hatha Yoga Level 1 class. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 a.m. We have a Vinyasa class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. Have a phenomenal rest of your day, everyone. Be well. Be happy, my friends. Namaste. And if you guys enjoyed the class, please feel free to hit the like sign, hit the thumbs up button, the heart button. Also, you could feel free to hit comments or type any comments or share videos. We do this yoga. Our next one is Thursday, June the 18th, 2020, 6 a.m. to 6:55 a.m. I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon, yogis. I hope that you all have a phenomenal rest of your week. Be well, my friends. Namaste. Thank you guys so much.